Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. This is episode 2 of AWS tutorials. In this video, we are going to create our first AWS Lambda function. In this video, we'll create a Lambda function, we'll understand what is Lambda handler, we'll test the Lambda with sample event, then we'll configure memory and timeout values, and we'll see the Lambda log in CloudWatch service. So now let's move to that AWS console. Here you just make sure you are in the correct region, Asia Pacific Mumbai. I have selected this region, so you just make sure you have selected the correct region. And here we'll search for this Lambda. Okay, in this Lambda service, we'll click on this create a function. We are going to create a Lambda function. Okay, here we have three options. We can create a Lambda function from scratch. We can use an existing blueprint, or we can even use a container image. For now, we'll just select this one, author from scratch. Now we'll have to provide some basic information like function name. So for now, I'll just write my first Lambda. Now the second option is runtime. Here we need to, here we have multiple options available. Like we can write our code in .NET, we can write in Java, Node.js, Python, Ruby, and many more are available here. For now, we'll just select Python 3.14, and we'll leave rest of the configuration as it is, and we'll click on this create function. It will take a couple of minutes. Okay, so the function has been created. I'll go to this code section. Okay, so here if you see, let me just maximize it. Okay, here if you see, there is this predefined code. We have this file lambda function.py. Inside this, there is a function lambda handler, and predefined code is written here. Like what it will do, it will just return this JSON structure. So here we can implement our logic. For now, I'll just write a print statement here. Okay. Now I'll deploy the changes. Deploy means like it will update the code when I'll click on this deploy button. Okay. So the code has been deployed successfully. If you see, now the next thing is it's testing. So here, if you see in the left side, there are test events. So let's create a new test event for this Lambda function. I'll provide name as test event name as test. And here, if you see, there is this predefined JSON structure. So I'll keep it as it is. I'll click on the save button, and now we'll run it, invoke. Okay, now if you see in the output terminal, here the status is succeeded, and this is the response that our Lambda is returning. Its status code -200 body is hello from Lambda. And if you see in the function logs, we have here we have this print statement, implement logic here. So it get printed here, implement logic here. So this is how we can test our Lambda. Now let's just see about what is this event object, and like how it is working. So whenever we provide anything inside this test event, this is called as a input payload for this Lambda, and whatever we pass it from here, it will go here in the event object. So I'll do one thing. I'll print event. Okay, now I'll deploy this code to reflect the latest changes. Okay, now I'll test it. If you see in the function logs, we have this print statement implement logic here. It get printed here. The next thing is event. So it has printed the JSON object that we have passed it from here, like key 1 value 1, key 2 value 2, key 3 value 3. And one more thing is from the input payload, we need to pass a valid JSON object. We can't pass any string, something like this. We cannot pass a string object. Now let's just move to this. Let's write a code here. I'll write def print n times. Okay, and I'll take the value from event and call this function. And here let me add a parameter n as value 5, let's say. So what I did is, let me just save this event first. Okay, that event already exists. I'll just create a new event with test1. Okay, here what I'm doing is, here like I'll take that value n from here. So whatever will pass it from here, it will take it here, and it will gonna run that loop till that n. Okay, now I'll deploy this code. I'll test it. If you see below this event object, it has printed this number from 0 to 4. So in this way, we can write any code here, we can test it. Okay, and if you see, we are not running the code on our on-premise, we are not running the code on our local system, we are running it on cloud. But if you have seen, like we have not started any server and all. That's why Lambda is called serverless. We'll talk on this later in this AWS tutorial series. For now, let's focus on this function logs. Here, if you see, apart from these print statements, there are few extra logs also available here. If you see, this is the start log, start request ID, and then some random characters and version latest. So basically, this is the first log that get printed whenever we invoke a Lambda. So basically, that's the first log of the Lambda execution. And this is the request ID. It is called AWS request ID, and it is unique across all the Lambda invocations, across all the Lambda functions. Okay, so using this value, we can track the logs. I'll explain you that later in this series. So now there are two more logs here as well, and report logs. And logs means like it get printed whenever the function executed has been completed. It doesn't matter whether it got failed or succeeded. It will get printed whenever the execution is done. So here, if you see, this is the same AWS request ID. Now this report log provides the states for that invocation. If you see here, it is providing how much duration this Lambda took to execute. So it took around 2 milliseconds. This is the build duration. I'll explain you this what is this build duration later. This is the memory size. So we have allocated 128 MB. That's why it's coming here. Now max memory used. So this Lambda invocation took 39 MB memory to execute this code. And this is the init duration. So init duration we'll cover later. Okay. So now let's move to this memory size. What is this memory size and so on? Okay. So for that, okay, let me just remove all these notification bars. Okay. Now I'll just go to this configuration tab. Here, if you see in the general configuration, we have few configurations here. First is description, second is memory, then ephemeral storage, timeout, and snapshot. Okay. So if you see, we have configured 128 memory, 128 MB memory. That's why it was coming there in the report log. I'll click on this edit button. So see here, this is the memory. So we can set the memory from 128 MB to 10 GB. Okay. So, and there is one more thing, your function is allocated CPU proportional to the memory configured. So if we increase the memory, let's say if I change it to 1 GB, then it will increase the number of virtual CPUs and it will make the processing faster. For now, I'll just keep it 120 MB only. This is the second is ephemeral storage. This is so here we can set the ephemeral storage from 512 MB to 10 GB. So ephemeral is kind of a temporary storage. If we want to store some intermediary or temporary files, we can store it. Now the next thing is the timeout. So here, if you see, this is the critical thing. The minimum right now we have set the timeout as 3 seconds. Okay. So we can increase the timeout value up to 15 minutes. So if so we can write all the codes that can be executed within 15 minutes in Lambda function. If our code is going to take more than 15 minutes, that we can't, then we can't put it here. Okay, for now I'll just click on this cancel button and I'll go to this code section. Let's see what is timeout here. I'll import time, and here I'll write time dot sleep 5. What I'm doing is I'll wait for 5 seconds and then I'll run this loop. But the thing is, we have configured the timeout value as 3, so it will get timed out. Let's just run this code. If you see the response, it's sandbox.timed out. Error task timed out after 3 seconds because we have configured the value as 3 seconds. Now what we'll do, we'll just increase the timeout value from 3 seconds to 10 seconds. Okay. Now I'll trigger this Lambda. This time it should work. Okay. If you see, the Lambda has been executed successfully and it has printed that values from 0 to 4 as well. Okay, so this is how we can configure timeout and memory values. Okay, so now let's talk about this Lambda handler. So if you have noticed, there is this function Lambda handler, and in this code, we are not calling this Lambda handler function. Then how it is getting executed? So the thing is, Lambda runs inside a container. So whenever we execute our Lambda, container automatically invokes this function Lambda handler. So the question is, can we change this function name? So we can change the function name. Let's change it to underscore one. Okay. Now I'll deploy it. Okay. Now we'll test it. If you see lambda handler missing on module lambda function, so it's saying it's throwing the error. Okay, so how to fix it now? Okay, I'll just scroll down and I'll go inside this runtime settings property. If you see here inside this handler, it's written lambda function dot lambda handler. So lambda function is this file name lambda underscore function, and second thing lambda handler. After dot, it's lambda handler. So basically handler function is, it tells the location where the handler function is. So it's inside this file and the function name is this one. So now, like, as we have changed the function name in our code, we need to change it here as well. Here I'll change it to underscore one. Okay, and I'll save it. Now we'll trigger this lambda. It's underscore one here. See, this time it worked because we have changed this function name at both the places, here in the code and in the configuration settings as well. In the same way, we can change the file name. Now we'll see these Lambda logs in the CloudWatch service. For that, what we'll do, we'll go into that monitoring section of this Lambda. Here, if you see, there is this view CloudWatch logs section. I'll click on this link. It will open a CloudWatch service. So see, this is a CloudWatch service, and here this is the log group. So basically, Lambda automatically creates this log group for every single Lambda. So if you see, it starts with AWS, then Lambda, and this is the same name. And this is our Lambda function name, my first Lambda. If you see here, my first Lambda. Okay. Now inside this log group, there are multiple log streams based on the container. So whenever it starts a container, it prints that container logs in a new log stream. So for now, we'll open the latest log stream here. And if you see, all the logs are available here: start log, that implement logic, print statement, event object, and we printed the loop from 0 to 4 and log and report log. So this is how we can view the logs in CloudWatch service as well. Okay. Now coming to this monitoring section, here we have multiple metrics available as well. So if you see, we have the first metric is invocations. So it tells you how many invocation we have done for this Lambda in last 3 hours. By default, it's 3 hours. We can change the time from here as well. We can make it to 1 hour. We can change it to up to 12 1D. Like here, we can select any relative date or absolute end start and end time date as well. Okay, to see the reports. For now, we'll see the number of invocations here. If you see, it's saying we have done 5 invocations for this Lambda in last 3 hours. Okay, and the last execution happened at 2080. Okay, second matrix is duration. So it tells you what's the minimum, average, and maximum duration. Okay, so this is how we can check our Lambda reports, like how much time it's taking on average, and if it is getting timed out. So all those things we can see it from here. Third metric is error and success count metric. So here it tells you like how many, if there is any failure or what's the success rate. So if you see on the error, the Lambda got failed one time in last 3 hours, and if you see the success rate, it's 80%. Okay. If you see, there are some other metrics available that we'll cover in the next videos. So thank you guys. That's it for this video. In the next video, we'll cover AWS Lambda and its integration with S3 bucket. And please subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you can get the notification for the new videos. And if you have any questions, just drop it in the comment box.